You clicked on this video because you want to know how to do the Arabian Mate. You want to spot it in your own games. Today I'm going to do 3 things. Teach you the Arabian Mate, then go through some puzzles of increasing difficulty, and then ask you guys to subscribe. Let's jump into what is the Arabian Mate. Here we have a king in the corner, we got a rook and a knight. And the Arabian Mate is actually the oldest documented checkmating pattern in history. It was found on Arabic texts years ago. And basically the rook checkmates the king in the corner. So the rook delivers the check, the knight holds the 2 squares, and the rook holds the other square and delivers the check. Knight will always be across from the king, and then the rook delivers the check. Let's jump into some puzzles and see how we can do. We will start with easy puzzles, 3 of them, 3 medium puzzles, 3 hard puzzles, and then I'll give you guys a hardest puzzle at the very end. See if you'll be able to solve that one. Easy puzzle number 1, pause the video if you need. The knight is already across from the king. We just deliver the checkmate on this square. Now, obviously, it's not checkmate yet because the queen can capture us, but we do have 2 rooks. Let's go to puzzle number 2. Pause the video if you need. In this puzzle, we are already across from the king and we can deliver a check here. If the pawn takes us, well, then we have the checkmate. Now, remember, when we do this, the rook can give the checkmate from this square or this square. It doesn't matter which one he's on because the knight holds both of them. Let's go to puzzle number 3. Pause the video if you need. Now this puzzle is slightly trickier because the bishop's here holding this square, and so we can't deliver check with the rook first. We have to deliver check with the knight first. If we go here and let's say they didn't even take, and we go here and we check here and they come back, this would generally be a checkmate with both rooks coming to this square as well. 2 rooks looking down and guarding, but this bishop stops us. So check and checkmate in the corner. All right, up the difficulty. Let's do some medium puzzles. Pause the video if you need. This puzzle is quite interesting. It's almost like a Anastasia's Mate, which we saw in the last checkmating pattern video where the knight holds these 2 squares and the pawn's in the middle. But here we're going to first get our rook into the game, throw in the check. The king goes into the corner. Now we want to deliver a check when we come here with the knight, but the king would have to be on this square. So how do we get the king onto h7? We deliver a check with the queen. The king comes up. We can now deliver the check with the knight. And now we can deliver the checkmate with the rook. All right, let's go to medium puzzle number 2. Pause the video if you need. For this one, we just want to get the rook off the back rank so we can deliver a check and come in. So we can do that with queen takes g2. Rook checks, their rook blocks, and now we deliver the checkmate. Medium puzzle number 3. Pause the video if you need. This one's actually a wee bit easier. We're just going to deliver a check with the knight and deliver checkmate with the rook. All right, let's go on to the hard puzzles. Pause the video if you need. So the same principles apply. We just want to get our knight to the square opposite the corner. And so the way we do this is first we sacrifice the queen. We throw the check in with the knight. The king has to go to the corner, and now we can deliver checkmate. I think these puzzles will become easier for you guys as you see that same pattern of knight a square away from the king and rook can checkmate on either h7 or g8. All right, hard puzzle number 2. Pause the video if you need. This puzzle is actually not that hard. Once you see you only need these 2 pieces to give the checkmate, we just need to get this rook out of the way. The way we do that is we can deliver a check here. And because the knight's already covering these 2 and the rook was here, the rook's forced to take, and now we can deliver checkmate. Hard puzzle number 3. Pause the video if you need. This puzzle is a little trickier because it looks like we could just take here with the queen. The queen captures, but then we don't deliver checkmate here. And so what we need to do is actually just distract the bishop out of the way. It's almost a checkmate if we can just get the bishop out of the way and make room for the rook. So this one, we just deliver check here with the queen, slightly off to the side, and now we deliver the checkmate. So sometimes pieces can sort of throw you off. You just have to be mindful of what do you actually need in the final position, and then just sort of clear the way with the other pieces. All right, this is the final hardest puzzle. Pause the video if you need, and don't unpause until you've finally solved it, and then see if you were right. All right, so we're first going to deliver check with the queen. If we go with the knight first, the queen is going to take the knight, and we're not going to have our piece that we need. So first we're going to deliver check with the queen. The bishop takes. Then we're going to deliver check with the rook, and the king moves over. Here we actually can add the knight first, because if the queen takes, then we have checkmate in one move here. This rook guards these squares, and the rook is protected by the bishop, which is supporting. So we actually can go here, and the queen can't capture us because of what I just said. And so now here, the bishop blocks. Now it looks like this bishop block stops everything, but we actually have a very simple way around it. But let's see what we don't do first. First, we don't check the king here because the bishop can take us. We don't capture the bishop with the knight because then we lose this bishop and we don't have a knight here ready to deliver checkmate. We don't capture this bishop here with our bishop because this is checkmate in 2 moves for white, and we don't want to lose the game. We want to win the game. And maybe you would think maybe we just take the bishop off with the pawn, but that's no good because it actually blocks our bishop in, and then they could simply just capture our knight here, and we don't have a checkmate. So what we actually do in this position is just do the simple checkmate on g1. It's not checkmate yet, but it is checkmate now. I hope you enjoyed that. I don't know if you're able to solve that hardest puzzle. It took me a minute to figure that out, but do click subscribe, and I will be coming out with 17 total checkmating pattern videos. The next one will be coming out very soon on the channel.